2024 has been an absolutely insane year for crypto so far. But if you've opened up your phone and checked the crypto prices within the past week, you might be thinking like, what is going on? Things look pretty ugly, and a lot of people are worried that this current crypto correction could be a part of a larger market crash. Many fear that it's over, that major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum could just break down even further, leading to a prolonged bear market, and that altcoins could bleed another 90%. So what's going to happen? Is it over? What's going to happen next? Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about in this video today as a blockchain developer myself who works this technology on a daily basis, who's been in this market for years, ever since 2017. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below and subscribe. And like I always say on my channel, while there's definitely some good opportunity to make substantial gains in the crypto market, the absolute best way to make life-changing long-term money in this space, whether the price goes up, down, sideways, is to increase your income and become a blockchain developer. And I can show you how to do that over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. All right, so let's take a look at the current state of the crypto market and talk about what could happen next. Now, as always, nothing I'm saying in this video is designed to be financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy or sell any cryptocurrency based on this information, particularly when I talk about certain coins and what they might do. And I'm not going to get into a bunch of fancy technical analysis in this video. I'm mostly just going to look at things from a big picture after having been in these markets for a very long time, seeing multiple bull and bear cycles. So first, let's start talking about 2024 and what an absolutely crazy year this has been. It's been incredibly hard to read. Why is that? Well, first of all, a lot of people subscribe to the 4-year crypto cycle thesis, which basically says that cryptos, go into these bull markets and peak roughly every 4 years. And in 2024, we saw Bitcoin, race to touch its prior all-time high much, much sooner than that. Okay. And at that point, everybody's like, hey, are we ahead of schedule? But what's happened is it's failed to break that prior all-time high. It has, really been consolidating. We're seeing a correction. We'll talk about that here in a minute. The whole point is things went up really fast ahead of schedule. And there's lots of reasons why. One of the main reasons is the Bitcoin ETF approvals inside the United States. People have been talking about this for years. They finally happened. And that was a lot of gasoline in the fire that caused this current run up to the levels that we're at today. But like I was saying, it's failed to break the prior all-time high. It's tested it several times, gotten rejected every single time. And currently this rejection is getting a lot deeper and things look heavy. They don't look good, at least in the short term. So why is this happening? Well, nobody really knows for sure. You're gonna have people say this reason, that reason, Mount Gox, all this type of stuff, recession fears, but nobody really is ever able to accurately pinpoint the reason why these things are happening. But what I can say is this: we did go up really fast, and the entire time that was happening, if you're watching my channel, I was saying either we bust past the prior all-time high and then don't go as high as we possibly could, and then we enter into a bear market much sooner, or we have to see some type of correction before we can really resume the show, because nothing goes up forever in a straight line. But lots of other factors, while we haven't really continued to break past those levels, we haven't seen a ton of outside money coming into crypto. Mostly it's been kind of this incestuous episode of existing capital. It's been in crypto before, entering into the market, arbitraging different markets, and a lot of the money that's here decided not to go straight into majors like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but go into altcoins almost exclusively or heavily weighted towards altcoins. And a lot of that money went straight into meme coins, and a lot of people who went into meme coins have gotten absolutely wrecked. Now, I don't think the meme coins are inherently bad. I've made plenty of videos on my channel talking about how to take advantage of opportunities in your meme coins, but every single time I make a video about that, I always warn, don't put your entire stack into meme coins, and this is exactly why. So that's the current state of the market. We went up really fast. We failed to break the prior all-time high. We've tested it several times. We're in the middle of a correction, and things look heavy. That's what it looks like right now. But what does that mean? Is it over? And what happens next? Well, to answer this question, I mostly want to talk about established cryptos that have been around for a while, things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, mostly things that are in the top 10, minus maybe Dogecoin. And the second thing I'll say about this is, nobody's got a crystal ball to know exactly what's going to happen next, especially in the short term, despite what they might say online. I like to think about these things in terms of likelihood. So let's look at the 3 different possible scenarios on the table and then rank them in terms of likelihood, just in my opinion. Again, not financial advice. So scenario number 1 is that, it's over, so to speak. Basically that, Bitcoin is topped for this cycle and other cryptocurrencies have too, and that we're about to enter into some type of prolonged bear market, maybe even a multi-year bear market. Well, I think this is probably the least likely scenario, okay, for the reasons I'll outline here in a minute. Reason number one is we saw a massive correction in the middle of a bull market after crypto broke its prior all-time high back in 2021. Okay, so we saw Bitcoin, sort of top out the first time around, $65,000. It corrected back down to $29,000. Like, people were going absolutely insane. But we then had a second leg up, went slightly past the all-time high to create a double top before we entered into a bear market. So massive corrections are not out of the ordinary in a bull market. And like I was saying before, we went up really fast, and I didn't think we would continue to go up without some type of correction, which we're seeing right now. Now, who knows how much deeper this correction could get? It could get uglier before things get better, just like we saw in 2021. So the other reasons for this is, we haven't broken past the prior all-time high in a real significant way. We went slightly above it, but my bet is that we'll break well past the prior all-time high before we get a prolonged bear market. Other reasons are we never saw mania come from outsiders. We haven't seen a lot of new money in terms of new market participants coming to crypto. We haven't seen, like Coinbase reach number one in the App Store. We haven't seen things like, loosening monetary policy. And another big reason why I don't think so is that there's a pretty big consensus view from lots of people that, hey, it's over. And markets typically don't obey the consensus view. If everybody thinks it's over, it's probably not. All right, so another potential scenario is that basically we're seeing this correction and that we are at or near the lows of that correction, and that we're gonna just see sort of a V-shaped recovery and things are gonna explode towards the next wave of a bull market, potentially breaking past that all-time high and going into the, banana zone, as people are saying right now. Now, I think that's the second least likely scenario. So bear market, from here being the least, then just once above that is sort of V-shaped recovery where things are just going absolutely nuts again. I mean, something could happen that caused everybody to go really risk on really fast, but with the available information on the table, I think that's still unlikely in this case. Mostly for the same types of reasons that I talked about before. We haven't seen a lot of outside money flow into crypto. We're not seeing, mania from other people wanting to rush in. And then the sentiment really is just not to the point where we're going to just carry us off to infinity from here. But if tomorrow we hear that the Federal Reserve is going to cut interest rates to zero, that something crazy happens in the economy that's really bullish, then, it could happen, but with the available information, I don't think so. All right, so the third scenario on the table, and this is the most likely one in my view, is that basically what we're seeing right now is a sideways consolidation or a cool off before resuming a longer uptrend that will peak out much later. Now, at what point in time that is, I don't know that answer. But after that, we'll probably see some type of extended bear market. Who knows what the drawdown potential for that is. Now, one thing to say is that, like I was talking about before, things went up really fast over basically a 6-month period with almost no correction. We're seeing at least a consolidation right now, maybe a deeper correction. But think about it this way. What goes up really fast is probably going to go down really fast. That's why I'm saying I don't think it would be good for us to have broken the prior all-time high before, because it probably would have just peaked out really early and we would have gone into a bear market quickly. But if we're seeing some type of sideways consolidation before resuming an uptrend, think about it like building a base. All right. If we give ourselves time to build a base, like you're drawing a triangle, the wider the base of the triangle, the higher the peak can go. And so if we are in the most likely scenario, which I'm talking about, which is a consolidation, we can build that base to build a higher peak somewhere down the road, which if you're playing this market for the long term, which that's what I do, I think it's the best way to do it, then you give yourself more upside potential within a still a relatively short time frame. Now, another thing I'll say about this market cycle is that it's really interesting, okay? We're going to have to see if the 4-year cycle thesis plays out. Now, if you watch my channel at all over the past few years, you know that I'm not a huge believer in the 4-year cycle sort of prophecy, and that every 4 years this is going to happen. My base case is simply that you need significant time in between cycles for them to play out. But, saying it's every 4 years is really based off a very limited set of data from the past. However, if we do continue to cool off and build that base like I was talking about, then we could actually see the 4-year cycle play out in an uncanny way, right on schedule, much to my disliking. And so as a bonus, what about memes? Okay, I was talking about mostly like top 10 cryptocurrencies before, because one explanation of what's happened with the markets being so explosive over the past several months is, yeah, we had the ETFs. We've also had a bit of a meme coin bubble, okay? We saw meme coins really start to take shape in 2023, mostly with DEX launches. I know we've seen meme coins before in the past, things like Dogecoin, but things really started to get crazy with DEX launching memes, especially with the Solana meme coin trend, and that caused a lot of a bubble at the early part of this year with that sector of the altcoin market. And we had a lot of people who were late to the party who piled into that and we're unfortunately too late. We're treating a lot of these meme coins like long-term holds, which I don't think was a good idea, and they got actually wrecked. So what do I think is going to happen with the meme coin sector? Well, first of all, I do think that meme coins as a category are here to stay, but you have to understand in terms of long-term holds, like we don't have enough, established history to determine who that's going to be. We have some people that look like real winners that have started to suffer lately. People have a pretty short attention span with memes, and memes thrive off of attention. So in terms of any individual meme coin, it's really hard to say how it's going to perform long-term. As a sector, I do think that they're here to stay, but just like every other crypto sector, they can have their own smaller market cycles and bubbles, regardless of what's happening with the broader crypto markets. With the caveat that I would say is we're probably not going to see meme coins explode if the entire crypto market's headed in a downward direction. All right, so that's an overview of what I think is happening with the current state of the crypto markets and what the outlook looks like potentially for the future. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Is it over? Are we seeing a temporary correction? Are we going into an extended bear market? Are we going to have a V-shaped recovery from here? I want to hear from you. And whenever you're finished leaving your comment, make sure you smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to make money in crypto, regardless of whether the price is going up, down, sideways, left, right, diagonal, doesn't matter. I can show you how to do that by increasing your income by becoming a blockchain developer. Trust me, it's the absolute best way to do this, and times like now are proof. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real world blockchain developers in a matter of months. I can show you everything over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. So that's all I've got for today. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.